RMSO taking another look at the Provo Bigfoot video. I saw what looks like a Bigfoot lower on the video than this one that everybody's drawn attention to. There's one down on a boulder above the house, and because I found 17-inch and 14-inch tracks, the one lower on the mountain on the boulder intrigues me. I mean, I also found a human track up there. Don't know what they were up there doing, but there is something lower on the mountain right above the house. I circled it here. At the end of this, I'm going to do a cropped video, and then you guys should go down in the description and check out their Reddit video, the original video. It's the best quality, and you can see on top of this boulder the creature moving around. And like I said, because I found 17-inch and 14-inch, indicating that there could have possibly been two Bigfoot on the mountain that day. And then, of course, I found a human footprint that made it up to the one that was up on the top film location. So I can't 100% rule out a hoax. I don't know what this person with the small boots was doing up there. The 17-inch track looked the best. It was in the cover of the trees and was blocked from wind and sun damage, and then you can see where a deer stepped into this track too. These 14-inch tracks were in horrible shape up at the film location. Okay, I'm going to go through a series of screenshots of the creature that's on the boulder lower in the mountain. And up higher on the mountain, you can see the one Bigfoot or suspect Bigfoot that everybody's made a big deal out of. But there's also one on this boulder. I'll go through a series of screenshots, and then I'm going to go through a series of these same ones cropped in on it. And at the very end of this video, I will do a cropped version of this second half of the video so that you guys can see it moving around on the rock. And then please go down to the description and look up their Reddit video. It's the original video, their first posting, and in my opinion it's the best quality, and you can see this thing moving around on the rock. So I mean, maybe because there's two explains why I found two different sets of tracks. I saw this thing moving around on the boulder in their original video and wondered why nobody made a big deal out of it, because it looks to me like there's a humanoid figure moving around on the boulder. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a stretch of video where the one that everybody makes a big deal out of up on the peak, I will show this big old rock, like a 200-pound rock that was ripped up out of the ground. Don't know if a person did it, don't know if the Bigfoot shaped thing up there did it, but it was rather odd, and I would like you guys to see it. And then at the end of this video I'll give you the large boulder was also yanked out of the ground. Does it make sense for a Bigfoot or a person to spend the time and effort to pull a 200-pound rock out of the ground? We also found one spot where there were some human tracks near the Bigfoot film location, size 8 men's boots. Don't know the story of when or why that was there. Look at this hole in the ground. It pulled this rock up after it snowed whoever the last time. The little bit of snow that's in there is wind-blown snow. It didn't snow right here after the rock has been pulled up, and you can still see insect marks and stuff in there that would weather away very quickly. So it's rather odd. Here's one of the screenshots of that video.
Now and look how big that person still is, all the way up on that mountain. Way the hell up there. You can see them right there. Right there. He's sitting on a rock. He's huge.
Oh my gosh, I still think it's a Sasquatch.
I mean, we are really far away right now. You can see the top of that mountain. It's humongous. It's that black thing right over that second peak of that house. He's just standing there, but he's huge.
Wait, you don't see it anymore? No? I think he has a truck up there.
Here even.
Dang, he's ginormous.
With my own eyes, I can see him perfectly.
Yeah. It didn't take that long to find him.
No, not at all. It's crazy.
Well, I can't get in my car until you.
Oh, I gotta leave first, but
I can climb over.
I'm gonna get. You can. No, you'll be fine. I'm just gonna get more footage of the Sasquatch.
This is the coolest thing ever, but I'm so
Hey, seriously, look how big it is. He's just chilling. I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch. Because look, he's on the mountain, way far back on the mountain. But look how huge he is.
And I don't.
We went up and investigated the Provo Bigfoot sighting and wanted to show you some of the things that we found. It snowed 4 days after, so it would have covered up any of the tracks, and during that 4 days, I believe I'm the only one that made it up there. At least I'm the only one with video evidence of actually making it to the spot where the Bigfoot was. The guys that filmed it tried later on that afternoon and come up to some rock face walls and stuff, and didn't quite make it up there. And then a guy a day after me, or 2 days after me, he tried making it up there, and he couldn't. It warmed up and got too wet and sloppy. So we studied the mountain for a couple of hours before I headed up, and we kind of mapped out a way to get up there to avoid the rock walls and everything. So we lucked out and made it up there. It snowed 4 days afterwards, so anybody else gets up there after that, the evidence is gone. But these are some of the Bigfoot tracks we found. I found 17-inch Bigfoot tracks, and I also found 14-inch Bigfoot tracks, and the 14-inchers are up by where the creature was. When we first saw the Bigfoot film on Reddit, we immediately started looking on Google Maps, zooming in with the satellite images and stuff, and trying to find the place along the Provo Bench. One of my friends, Chris Pino, he actually found it, showed me, and Derek, Jenny, and I looked at that and said, yep, that's the spot. And right here is Derek's cell phone in front of me showing the spot. Now I'm zooming in on where the Bigfoot was standing. Now here's a 17-inch Bigfoot track I found. It was going downhill, and this was in the oak brush cover before I got to the film location. When I got to the film location, paralleling the cover, as Bigfoot often does when it travels, it parallels cover, we found the 14-inch tracks. And here's the 14-inch tracks, and the two big toes were well preserved. I think the other smaller toes were either didn't take, or the wind kind of blew the snow in. And then here's the screenshots of the Bigfoot. I went through and wanted to find where it was standing up the tallest. Our investigation video, I showed like the patty profile with its legs spread, taking a big step from the side so you could see the cone head. But on this size comparison, I want to get where it's standing straight up, because the Bigfoot seems to hunch over a little bit most of the film. So we wanted to do a size comparison with me. I actually stood pretty close to that very spot. Derek wasn't in the driveway of these people's home when he took the photos, so he was about 20 feet off. And I went and found a photo where I was actually pretty much standing in the same spot, and that's coming up here. Now some of these, the Bigfoot's flailing its arms, and you won't be able to tell till you get me right next to it. I cropped an image with me right next to it, just so you guys can see its girth and weight and size. I don't know how much bigger that is than me. You guys can figure that out on your own. I don't know. It's at least a foot, maybe more. And then its girth. I weigh 200 pounds. So what does it weigh? This is the one I used in the original video of it, the side profile, the cone-shaped head. And then there's the 17-inch Bigfoot tracks again. I'm 5'7", and this looks like it's at least a foot taller than me, probably more. So it's 6'7", 7 foot, maybe taller. The 14-inch, this is the 17 that is in the cover, but what was leaving the tracks where it was captured on film was 14-inch tracks. That's the same size as Patty, and experts say Patty's about 7'4", so I'm going to go out on a limb and say this thing was at least 7 feet tall and probably 2-3 times my weight. I weigh 200 pounds, and this thing just looks massive, so I'm saying it's 400 pounds plus.
That looks like an old Bigfoot track right there. I don't know if you can make that out, but it looks Bigfoot shaped. Looks a little bit older. Just put my foot right next to it. My foot's 12.5 inches. So you can plainly see that track's 17 or better. Oh.
I'm on the right, the Bigfoot's on the left. It's quite pixelated and blurry because it's zoomed in on and all that. Derek had a little bit better camera than they were using, so we made the best comparison as we could. I mean, what is that? It's quite a bit bigger than me, quite a bit girthier. That's our investigation. I'll leave a link to the Bigfoot video that these Provo guys filmed, and I'll also leave a link to our full investigation video down in the description of this video. Keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching.